Greetings everyone, I am delighted to have you all here with me. Today's date is April 24, 2023, and I am pleased to offer a brief rundown of the most significant news stories of the day. I have 4 news briefings to cover. Firstly, I will start with the news from the New York Times. President Biden, who is expected to announce his re-election campaign this week, has won his party's support despite questions about his age and approval ratings. A decimated village welcomes back displaced residents for a day of remembrance and hope. Sergei Lavrov is in New York for United Nations Security Council meetings after spending much of last week courting countries in Latin America. With hopes fading that 2 warring generals will end their battle anytime soon, diplomats and other foreigners began leaving the country. The Communist Party outlined draft rules that would set guardrails on the rapidly growing industry of services like ChatGPT. One of the first major studies on remote work shows a hidden penalty of flexibility, less supervision. Jean Carroll wants her story of an attack by Donald Trump 25 years ago proved under a law she lobbied to pass. A trial begins Tuesday. Between Thursday and Monday night, Crypto.com Arena will have hosted 4 NBA games and 2 in the NHL. These workers converted from rink to court. The surprising Kings are pushing Golden State in their first-round NBA playoff matchup. Sacramento fans have waited a long time, our columnist writes. Amid a protracted stalemate in Congress, President Biden has used his executive authority to expand the number of new immigrants entering the U.S. An ousted populist's daughter is seeking office, fueling concerns that the return of a divisive political dynasty may revive instability, too. Pandemic boredom and a Netflix miniseries, The Queen's Gambit, played a part. But Chess.com was also plotting its own moves. David Leonhardt examines how strong the American economy really is. This is how 2 generals led Sudan to the brink of civil war. Federal prosecutors will seek the death penalty for the man accused of killing 11 people at a Pittsburgh synagogue. Justice Antonin Scalia defended a plane trip with a litigant in a 2004 memo that is instructive in analyzing the scrutiny facing Justice Clarence Thomas. Ivan Sutherland played a key role in foundational computer technologies. Now he sees a path for America to claim the mantle in superconducting chips. Comcast, the company's owner, said he was leaving after an investigation into an inappropriate relationship with a woman in the company. An actress known for playing complicated women takes on another in her latest role. I don't think I'd know what to do with a straight-up nice lady, she said. We asked experts for their favorite beginner-friendly titles. Followed by the news from the media outlet Financial. UK and US extract diplomats as France and Saudi Arabia help citizens from multiple nations. Government to strengthen northern bases and long-range strike capabilities for missile-age threats. Belgian central bank governor, not surprised if Eurozone key rate increased to 4%. White House has tried to enlist Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix in its semiconductor battle with Beijing. Beijing's ambassador to France questioned legitimacy of countries formerly in the Soviet Union. Continuing drought conditions leave traders and analysts worried about this year's output. Remote islands could become frontline in possible future conflict over Taiwan. Former guerrilla-turned-president Gustavo Petro struggles to deliver comprehensive settlement with armed groups. A scramble for workers might complicate the Federal Reserve's efforts to cool the economy. Court battle exposes sale of lucrative fishing rights to company linked to Greek tycoons for fraction of market value. Brazilian president's intransigence highlights EU's difficulty convincing Global South to hold Russia accountable. China's dominance of its domestic car market will soon be projected to Europe. Consolidation coming. Beijing's envoy to France stoked furor in Baltics by questioning legal status of European countries. Gloomy growth forecast will overhang stock prices more than Sino-US trade spat. Carriers rethink their schedules after 2 peak seasons marred by delays prompt calls for more regulation. The dazzling transformation of its iconic Fifth Avenue address is the next step in the brand's voracious plans for double-digit growth. Also in today's newsletter, Bed Bath & Beyond files for Chapter 11 and inside the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Pouring through interest rate swaps data. SVB's implosion highlights the destabilizing impact of quantitative easing. And then the BBC News. Some 4,000 British nationals are thought to remain in the country after diplomats were evacuated. Long-range firepower must be urgently upgraded, the country's biggest defense review in decades says. Ammar speaks to the BBC from Sudan as shots can be heard ringing out near him. They accuse Wrestling Federation chief Brij Bhushan Singh of abusing athletes, an allegation he denies. Goodman was a favorite on the show from its launch in 2004 until his departure 2016. 2 of the 20 big cats brought to India since last year are now dead. William Bentinck, the first Governor-General of British-ruled India, banned Scythia in 1829. A top member of Russia's elite says he spent nearly 6 months with troops fighting Ukraine's army. The embattled retail giant is seeking buyers for its assets, and will close all its stores by June 30th. Jeff Shell has left the U.S. media giant over an inappropriate relationship he had with a colleague. Work has started on introducing the successor to the famous football game. China's ambassador to Paris Liu She has questioned the sovereignty of countries of the former Soviet Union. The Star's book asked why Reeves still walks among us when others like River Phoenix had died. The announcement gives an insight to the scale of the bank run that triggered the rescue of the Swiss lender. And final is the Japan Times. COVID-19 tracker, Tokyo logs 571 new cases. In Japan, special adoption offers route to legal ties, but uptake remains sluggish. Integration of My Number and health insurance cards accelerating. Chinese members of Japan Exchange Program keen to build ties after COVID-19. Establishing criminal case against Hokkaido boat operator over accident proving difficult. Victims remembered 1 year after Hokkaido boat accident. Russia's technocrats embraced the West, then enabled Putin's war. The future of AI relies on a high school teacher's free database. South Korea's Yoon to meet Biden as doubts grow over nuclear umbrella. As Yoon heads to U.S., Russia's war puts focus on huge South Korean artillery stockpiles. Air pollution kills 1,200 children a year, EU agency says. World military spending rises to record as insecurity swells. YouTube case at U.S. Supreme Court could shape protections for AI. A Canadian businessman spent $1 million to offset his carbon footprint. Australia needs green energy policy response quickly, Fortescue exec says. BOJ chief wants quite strong inflation before tweaking yield control policy. Citi's Japan clients bet on US and Aussie dollars as Ueda cools BOJ bets. Harry Potter theme park in Tokyo unveiled ahead of June 16 opening. That's a wrap for today's international news highlights. Hope you all got the lowdown on what's happening around the world and that your listening skills have reached new heights. Catch you all tomorrow. See you.